My cousin shredded my grandmother's vintage veil because it was prettier than hers, so I aired her cheating texts during the maid of honor speech. I was on my hands and knees on the plush carpet of the bridal suite, trying to scoop up the tattered remains of my great-grandmother's 1920s Belgian lace veil. My hands were shaking so badly, I could barely hold the fabric. Oops, Lexi said, tossing the fabric scissors onto the vanity table with a clatter. She took a sip of her mimosa, looking at me in the mirror. I was just trying to trim a loose thread. I guess I slipped. Honestly, Sarah, it was too yellow anyway. It made my dress look dingy. You can buy a new one at the mall. It's an heirloom, Lexi, I whispered, feeling the hot sting of tears pricking my eyes. It survived World War II. It didn't survive you. Don't be dramatic, she snapped, turning around to face me. It's my wedding day. Stop making this about you. If you're going to pout, get out. I need positive vibes only. I stood up. I looked at the shreds of lace in my hands. The veil I had graciously agreed to let her use as her something borrowed. She hadn't slipped. The cuts were jagged, vertical slices right through the intricate floral pattern. She had destroyed it because everyone at the rehearsal dinner had complimented the veil more than her dress. I walked out of the suite at 10 a.m. I didn't scream. I didn't slap her. I went to the hotel bar and ordered a double vodka tonic. I sat there, watching the guests arrive, listening to the string quartet play. I was supposed to be the maid of honor. I was supposed to hold her bouquet. I considered leaving. I considered burning the venue down. That's when the real bombshell dropped. Lexi's iPad was sitting on the bar counter. She had left it there earlier when she was showing the bartender a playlist. It buzzed. I glanced at the screen. A text message preview popped up. Kyle 10:15 a.m. Can't believe you're actually going through with it. Last night was insane. Hurry up and get divorced so we can be together. I froze. Kyle wasn't the groom. Kyle was Lexi's ex-boyfriend, the one she swore she blocked 3 years ago. I unlocked the iPad. Her passcode was 1234. She was never smart. I opened the messages. My stomach turned. They hadn't just texted. There were photos. Timestamps from 2 a.m. last night. While the groom, Mark, a sweet golden retriever of a man who adored her, was sleeping off the rehearsal dinner, Lexi was in Kyle's hotel room 3 floors down. I looked at the timestamps. I looked at the destroyed veil in my purse. I didn't delete the texts. I took screenshots. I airdropped them to my phone. Then I opened the slideshow presentation file for the reception, the one I was in charge of. The ceremony went off without a hitch at 4 p.m. Lexi walked down the aisle, veilless, beaming like an angel. Mark cried when he saw her. It was sickening. The reception started at 6 p.m. The champagne flowed. Lexi was basking in the attention, ignoring me completely. At 7 p.m., the DJ announced the speeches. And now, the DJ boomed. A few words from the maid of honor. I took the microphone. My hand was steady now. I looked at Lexi. She smiled, expecting a groveling tribute to her beauty. Lexi loves to be the center of attention, I started, my voice clear. She loves it so much that today, she decided to make some cuts. She cut my grandmother's veil this morning because she wanted all eyes on her. The room went quiet. Lexi's smile faltered. But Lexi also believes in honesty, I continued. She believes in sharing everything. So I thought I'd share a little story from last night. Mark, you might want to look at the screen. I clicked the clicker. The slideshow didn't show baby photos. It showed the screenshots. Huge, high-definition projection of her sex with Kyle. Last night was insane. I read aloud over the gasps of the crowd. Mark stood up, his face draining of color. He looked at the screen, then at Lexi. What is that? Mark choked out. It's fake, Lexi screamed, lunging for the projector. She edited it. She's jealous. Then the next slide came up. A selfie of Lexi and Kyle in bed. Timestamped 3 a.m. The silence was shattered by the sound of Mark throwing his champagne glass against the wall. He didn't say a word. He turned and walked out of the ballroom. Lexi stood there, frozen, as 300 guests stared at her in horror. Her mother fainted. You ruined my life, Lexi shrieked at me, mascara running down her face. You slipped, I said, dropping the microphone on the table. Just like with the scissors. I walked out, ordered an Uber, and went home to try and repair the veil. Mark filed for an annulment the next morning. So, am I the monster for nuking her wedding in front of everyone she knows? Or did she get exactly what she deserved for betraying a good man and destroying my family history?